Let's welcome. This is Keep It Concise. Let's get into the show. Yo. What's going on with everybody? It's your boy, ConcisetheBarber. We are here Sunday Night Live, but I have a new name to this live. It is called Keep It Concise. So this is going to be something that y'all want to get on, hop on over to YouTube, all my IG followers, and we're going to talk about some things tonight. I have three beautiful topics to talk about this evening, but wherever you from, shout out where you at. Neil, what's going on with you, bro? Appreciate you being one of the first people always to hop on. I appreciate that, man. Baldwin, New York. Let's go. I want you, what area? What area code is that? 646, 347. I don't know where that's at. Andy, what's going on? My man got the business name up there. That's what's up. What's up? But y'all, if y'all your IG, if y'all on here, I just want to come live with y'all real quick. I'm just letting everybody 516. Okay, I'm just letting everybody know the shout out where they're from on IG. Y'all probably want to hop on the YouTube because we're going to talk about some topics. Definitely think there's some real healthy topics that we're going to talk about, and also some information that y'all might need. There's about two topics that I really feel like that is really going viral right now. One of them is the last one, talking about barber expos, but we'll do more of a deep dive in that once we get there. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of IG, and we're gonna go straight into YouTube, and we're gonna talk about some stuff. All right, so y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all be blessed. Y'all take it easy. IG, hop on over to YouTube. All right, cool. Matter of fact, let me do this. 516. I don't know if I know anybody from the 516. I think you're the first person I know, but shout out to you, Neil, man. I appreciate you hopping on. So we're gonna talk about some stuff, man. I think that we have some good conversations previously, but I feel like these conversations that we're going to have tonight, I definitely feel like it's going to impact us in a very healthy way. So let's go ahead and talk about one of the first ones is educator versus influencer. And I'm just going to let y'all know right now, the educator guy, that is not me. Even though it looks like me, that is not me. I thought it was kind of dope to find that image. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use that because it kind of looks like me. So let's talk about this. Educator versus influencer. Do y'all feel that there is a difference? And if so, what do you think the difference is? Okay. He says the influencer is a car salesman. That's a good one. Can you explain that? All right. Yeah. Can you explain that? The educator doesn't want to sell you anything but education and will do it for free, a passion. That's an interesting take. I agree. To some extent. I agree. I mean, they definitely will do it for free, but not always. Not always. I don't think they will always. I could be wrong, but that's just my take. Anybody else? Educator versus influencer. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because it seems like in the industry right now, there is a lot of conversations going on about this, that the educators and the influencers are like a night and day type thing. That there are some people that are just rock on like with influencers, and that's that. And the educators are kind of like, not to say they're getting upset with it, but it's like they're sad to see a lot of people just going on with these influencers and that's it. But they're not trying to get real true education. And I definitely want to talk about this Probably next week, I think it'd be dope to have a panel of some educators and some that will call themselves an influencer and talk about some things and where the barbering industry really should be at when it comes to these two. But as of right now, tonight, I'm going to give you my take when it comes to this. A full-on influencer is always pushing a product or brand. Okay. So so let me ask you this. An influencer, would you say that they're like a person that's always pushing um like let's say they have their own brand. You know what I mean? You feel like they're only care about how their brand is doing. I think barbers are waking up. And that could be true. And that definitely could be true. I'm kind of glad that a lot of them are. I do understand that some barbers kind of get how can I say they're the hype of becoming just a so-called influencer. Not to say that it's dying down, but I feel like it had its peak and now it's slowly, gradually going down. But I do see the other side of it where brands are looking for, like you just said, or let's call them ambassadors um, for their brand, right? So how does this relate to each other? Like, what's the true difference, right? So this is what I see as an educator. An educator is somebody that teaches you, a skill. They also like they kind of pass the torch in a sense to help people elevate the craft. Like they really care to the point that, hey, if you're going to be uh under me, I need you to take this serious as much as I'm taking it serious, or even no more. Um, they teach real technique on certain things. They have real world experience and they have credentials. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to an educator, that is something that is kind of like a foundational in a sense, you know. Now, I'm not saying that some people are not fast learners. You could definitely be an educator. That could be just a gift. You know what I mean? That could be your gift, and you learn fast, and you know how to articulate the information that is needed. So, I definitely feel like an educator. I know sometimes we put time on an educator, but sometimes, not all the times, sometimes there are educators that are just right off the press, like they're really they're really good. But some they still need that long time endurance and experience. So I definitely feel like as an educator, this is a title that honestly I would say is something that you really don't give yourself. Your work does. Your work gives you that that title. It's just like how we look at the GOAT of the NBA. Jordan didn't call himself the GOAT. He allowed people to call him the GOAT. So I kind of look at it like that as well when it comes to an educator. Like you get to a place where it's like people are looking for you to learn and they want you to teach them. You became an educator and you didn't even realize that you did. So because you stayed so focused and honed in on teaching them the craft, the skill, the passion, the drive. Now you got to have some drive on your own, but you that is what an educator is to me. Now influencer really just cares kind of just for not all of them, but status, popularity, and some have that. Sometimes it's not what you know, but who's you know. That's how I kind of look at the influencer kind of vibe, right? Um, majority of them are content creators. Sometimes you could just be in like a professional, uh, like status or arena, and you can be an influencer in that way. Like, what's the bull name? Kanai, whatever his name is. My man ain't. He can't. He's not an educator. He's definitely an influencer. He's got to some places, but I still don't know. Like, I don't watch enough of him, but I know enough to the point that he was an influencer. And now he's on like what commercial is that? Some car insurance commercial or T-Mobile commercial, something like that. That's popularity. That's content creator. Like he's doing the most. You know what I mean? he's jumping in on trends. You know what I mean? He has a lot of entertainment within his content if he does YouTube or stuff like that. And he does a lot of brand awareness. He brings a lot of brand awareness, which, like I said, he was just on a T-Mobile commercial, which is bringing brand awareness because due to his popularity. So to me, that's what somewhat of influencer is. That's not everything, but that's something. Um, Let me see. Some of them are more content creators than they are barbers. That is true. Some are more content creators than they are barbers. And you know what? Some don't mind being a content creator than more of a barber. Some don't want to be behind the chair 7 days out the week and 8 hours a day or 10 to 12 hours a day. Some don't, you know. But I think that if that is the case, then I guess we all should be asking, like, okay, so where's the honesty in that, right? Where's the honesty of like who you are? But hey, we don't know that in the sense of like, let's say they've been cutting for 20 years, 10 years, let's say about 10 years, and they just, hey, you know what? I see social media is going good. Let me go ahead and do this. And I'm only going to cut 2 or 3 times out of the day. I mean, out of the week, and that could be fine too. Nothing wrong with that. The main thing is there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. You could be an educator or you could be an influencer or you could be neither. And you just, a barber don't have no status at all, but you have all the clientele in the world and you making bank and you cool being that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with each one. You get what I'm saying? But it seems like I just wanted to give the information out there for those that don't really understand the difference between an educator and influencer. Now, I am going to talk about something else, but let's go ahead and really see, somewhat of the differences of the influencer and educator for y'all. So influencer, they drive trends, they focus on content and reach, and may or may not be skilled. Like I just said about like there's a lot of people we know that's like famous that it's like no disrespect. There are some things that they are not skilled in at all. Like they're just not. But they have huge influence and they monetize attention. You know, I want to say this name, but okay, I'm gonna say the name. Like I still don't know the the skill set that Kim Kardashian really has, but she's very uh how can I say this? Influential to a lot of people. You get what I'm saying? So you do have that type of person of status. So then you have the educator, which teaches fundamentals, focus on growth and skills, proven track record in the craft, monetizes education. Now this is real. This is truth. But like I said, everybody's time frame is different. Don't get me wrong. So you could be an educator that monetizes education within your first 2 years of barbering because you have really honed in, or you you didn't you blocked out all the noise. You probably didn't even have social media. You just stayed really like zoned in, and you became a beast. And now you can teach people what you have learned. Um, and also, yeah, a proven track record is definitely one of those things. Now, everybody is going to look at your track record different. I will be honest. So some people can be in a game for 20 years and they can just still cut hair okay. You know what I mean? And they probably don't know how to articulate what they're doing. So I can't say that they're just automatically going to be an educator. But then you have somebody that worked 10 years, worked at a few different shops. They got their own spot. They learned some things, uh, went through some things, some good and bad and ugly, and now they have a proven track record on how they can teach you, the right way to go about some things. So I would definitely say that being an educator is one of those things that people call you way before. I ain't gonna say before you call it yourself because that could be you might know your gift or your purpose, but what I'm saying is that it's proven that people can see you as an educator, period, more than you yourself just see yourself as an educator and nobody else sees you that way. So let's see what we got right here. Like Sean Cuts Hair, who was someone who trusted for product reviews. Now is a Babel's ambassador, and now can't really be taken serious for his opinion on products. I mean, I don't I don't agree with that at all because he's not looking. And I know he did a video saying that he's with Babelist and he's just going to be showing Babelist products. That was the direction I think that he decided to take. He said that was best for him and his family. So I don't look at him as uh, just an influencer. He's definitely going places with Babelist. He's doing a lot of shows. He's teaching shear work. So he's definitely an educator. Now, y'all might have looked at him as an influencer, but if you really like if you really was like following Shine, you would see the educator in him. But I mean, to each his own, but to me, I see nothing wrong with him making the decision to do that. I see nothing wrong with that. Now, if you yeah, I don't know. I just don't see nothing wrong with it, to be honest. This plumber who have a $5 million company and this guy who had 13K in the bank pay that guy 10K to educate him. Now he booming. You're gonna have to like break that down for me. This man, maybe I'm not like reading that right. Okay, so the guy had $13,000 in the bank, paid the guy 10,000 to educate him. Now he booming. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, that's a proven track record. Once you sign on to a brand, it's hard to get the real out of them. I can't say that for all. I can't say that for all. Um, I will say that you have to have you got to have some discernment on what people are doing, why they're doing it. Um, I can't say that once somebody signs on, it's hard to get the real out of them. Get the real out of them when it comes to what? If I decide to go with Nike, then I decide to go with Nike because that's what I want. That's what I want to rock with. That works well with me. What I'm gonna say, like, get the real out of them. With what Adidas? Like, but if you know they rock with Nike, like nobody asked Jordan about Adidas when he signed with Nike. You're right. I don't. You're right. I don't know that. But what I'm trying to say is that nobody knocks Jordan because he's rocking with Nike. I like to me. I look at that. I might look at that different. Once you sign on with a brand, I know a lot of real people that are with brands that are ambassadors. You, if you want to call them that work with brands. I know a lot of real people. Um, yeah, but I think what they did was they decided what fits their their life. They made that decision. I can rock with that. I can rock with that. Um, and we just got to say, mm, either we rock with that or we don't. But Jordan would never say anything bad about Nike. He did though. He did. He didn't even like the first. He didn't like the first sneaker they came out with. He said it. He said that many a times. He did. So, like I said, it's all about perspective at that point. Because it's like, what are we? My thing is what are you looking for? You want people to go with a brand. Let's say, well, this is. Let me tell you how I will move with a brand. If I ever sign with a brand, if I sign with what's a brand that just came out? If I sign with Coco, right? If I sign with Coco, first Clippers they came out with before anything, if they gave me the Clipper, they say, "Hey, we want you to test this out." Da 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 da. I'm gonna let them know everything how I feel about that clipper, right? Now, that brand has two options. They either can take into what I say and adjust what I said, and let's just say there's about 5 ambassadors. Let's just say it's 5 of us. We all have our different take, whatever. Or we might all have the same. If we all have the same, I'm thinking that they would change it. But let's say we all didn't. And they still went with something that I didn't care about. When people ask me, "Yo, how you like this new clipper? Do you like this? Do you like that?" Da 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 da. I'm gonna tell you everything I like about the clipper. I'm gonna tell you everything I like about the clipper. Now, am I gonna jump straight to how you like this clipper? Yo, this joint is terrible, man. I told him not to. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just being real with you. I had that conversation with them. I will say, hey, we noticed a problem with this. We noticed there's gonna be some problems with that. So they're working on this. I might be real and say, hey, I like all of this about it. I really don't care for the battery life, but that's the route we went. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I would go about it. But I think sometimes we looking like what's our true intentions when somebody does like sign with somebody? What's our true intentions? Like you just want to know if they're going to keep it real and say, "Hey, this is crappy." Nothing's perfect. So there's always going to be something that always can be elevated, right? So, I mean, that's just my take. Um Educators with their own brands are the best, not signed to a big company. I can understand that. Now, see, some people gravitate towards that more. Me, um, I how can I say this? Well, no, I can't say I gravitate towards that more because there are some educators that are with brands that I really like respect. You know what I mean? I like their take on things. And it's not just one brand, it's multiple brands, but there are some that have their own thing going on that I rock with too. There's a few of them. So to me, I have somewhat of a balance. I rarely hear ambassadors speak bad about the brand they are with. When you say speak bad, what do you mean? What do you mean they never speak bad? Like they never trash it? Like, yo, this is garbage. Like what kind of conversation do you feel like they need to have with everybody for you to feel like, oh, they keeping it real? Do they need to say this is trash? Like that's what I'm asking. Like if they say the battery can be better, do you feel like that's still speaking good or bad? Like it's stuff like that I'm really trying to like figure out. Master P paid Michael Jackson lawyer to help him learn music business. Now he been booming. Oh, I said Michael Jackson. Hey, can't go wrong with that either. There's an instant conflict of interest there. An ambassador rocking with a brand recently with those fires. I did not see one of them jump to speak on it. For months, it was hush hush. Why? Check the free product. We know, bro. I'm not sure why uh, some of the people did or didn't do that. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like how my outlook on that. Like I said, I'm just gonna use Coco. There's nothing wrong with Coco. I'm just using Coco as an example. If Coco had those batteries that are that are bad, and the company came didn't say much about it. Now, if I'm a product reviewer, I'm gonna probably address the situation and say, hey, just want to let y'all know we have certain products that have some malfunctions. So y'all might, you might want to wait before you purchase anything like that. Let's say if it's the clipper, whatever the hypervelox clipper, whatever. Let's say it's that one. I'll probably say I'll put a pause if y'all thinking about getting that clipper. I'll put a pause on it until they resolve the situation or the solution. Now, once Months later came out, and then they said, hey, we found out there's a there's a battery, there's something wrong with this type of battery. Then I would say, hey, just want to let y'all know, here's an update. Boom. That's what I would do. Now, they might have a clause under their contract that says they can't speak on certain things, but it could be in their contract. So they could be upholding a contract. But look, everybody signs what they want to sign. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to get upset at the ambassador. You know what I mean? If it's a company situation, then address whoever's the head of the company. You get what I'm saying? If they sign that paper, they sign that paper. That's what they're going to abide by that paper. You might not like that, but they signed the paper. I'm just being honest with you. There's a lot wrong with Coco. Yeah, I was just using Coco as an example. They should make all of us question their integrity. Okay. Influencers are promoters, like those who promote club events. Educators are just supposed to be that, educate and teach about their field of knowledge, especially their first generation clippers. It's not about being mad at them. It's us just being aware of what's going on with these things. Very much so. But see, I think that pinpoints more so on not the influencers, because I feel like this. I never did like when something like you see this in the NBA, like when something goes wrong in a company, but the CEO never takes the hit, but everybody else does. Or, the board of directors, whatever decision they decided to make, whoever signed off on those papers and that, whatever, I think that it's up to them to address the situation. I don't think it's up to anybody else. That's just me. Now you can pull a move like a Micah Parson, how he has his own podcast and he speaks on certain things. Some things he don't speak on. Some things he don't speak on at all, but some things he do speak on. You get what I'm saying? So he has a way of how he looks at things, but there are some things that he do not speak on when it comes to the Cowboys. But that's what I'm saying. If you're an ambassador, you sign a contract and the contract says, hey, there's an NDA. You can't do this. You can't speak on this, da 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 da. Some people, most of them are going to go by that. But that's why we all have to make a conscious decision on what we do, what we doing, what we sign up for, and all of that. I am just literally saying, when it comes to stuff like this, not to say that it's really fair fair game, but we all have to pay attention to what we're doing. We gotta understand who we following, why are we following them, what are their intentions. Like you said, what products we like, what products we don't like. What's our budget for this? What, like, all of that stuff is it's all choice at that time. And you saying that we need to be aware. Sometimes I think if something happens, the recall on a Ford, this I'm gonna show you my age, a Ford Tempo, because of the radiator or something's going on with it. If the company comes out with a recall, but you still buying a Ford Tempo, if multiple people are coming in letting y'all know, like, hey, something wrong with my radiator and my Ford Tempo, that in itself to me, it speaks volumes. But that's just me. But don't want to get too much off topic. Daz, what's going on? CEO do when they lose too much money, they get voted out, right? Yo, love your content. Just purchase some Annis Phenom trims because you're in there. Can't wait to try them. Braden, let me know how you like them. I'm glad that you like my content. I appreciate you. Let me know how you like them. Now, I am probably gonna have to do a video because it seems like from just what I'm hearing, um, there are those that are zero gapping them. They're not getting it to hit the right way, whatever like that. Even though I did do a live on my Instagram, I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do like a live on YouTube, and I'm gonna set mines, and I'm gonna show y'all. Like I have clips of them cutting crisp, but I'm gonna show y'all how I set mines, and we can just go from there. Cause I'm kind of OG with it. I'm OG how how I set mines. I used the mirror. Like I used a mirror in the hand. So I might have found a sweet spot. I'll show y'all. I'll do some work with them, and we'll go from there. Um, Let me see what the next one is. So this is what I think what an influencer and an educator is. Now, I do want to talk about this. I do believe that there is a hybrid. You can be an educator and also an influencer. I think you can be both. I think there are some people that are skilled to be able to do both because some are great at breaking down techniques, reviewing tools with a real insight. Now, I'll be 100% with you. Do I know the name of the battery? Do I know the name of the company and the product SKU number? No, no, I don't. But can I tell you some healthy information about a tool? I can. That's going to affect you on how it operates, you know, on a daily basis, dealing with certain hair texture. I mean, with almost every hair texture. I can. Um also educator and influencer, builds trust through both skill and authenticity. And I definitely feel like that is that is a must. Now, I will say this. I will say this. When it comes to skill, hair cutting skills, there are definitely levels to it. Have I mastered the skill of hair cutting in every hair texture? No. No, I haven't. Am I passionate on getting there? Very much so. So I'm not going to say that I'm like yo, anything that comes my way, bro, I'm the master of it. Period. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm gonna be authentic with y'all. I will say that. And the skill of using these products, really taking out the time to really digest them, to really focus on what makes them work, what doesn't make them work, and all that jazz. I have to I have to let y'all know. Um, Educates in a way that still gets views and drives conversation and thinks of them as a content creator with purpose. Now, I definitely feel like me doing this, I started this with purpose. I did product reviews with purpose because I really feel like I wanted to give y'all content that lets you know, like, hey, you know what? Is this something that's worth it or not? Is this something that's in my range or not? And I try to give you guys the right type of titles or things to talk about when it comes to products so you can make a sound decision on if it's something that's worth it for you or not. So to me, I do feel like there is a hybrid. You don't have to be either or. You could be a hybrid, but I definitely feel like you still need to have some some skin in the game. I will definitely have to say that. All right, let me see. I got my hands on the Phenom sets. I know you told me about them. And this miss on not having the ability to use any back blade on a Phenom clipper out of the box. What do you mean? Hey, Concise, just recently got the Coco Velas white trimmer and expecting them to hit straight out of the box since they are digital gap. Any advice to get them to hit for lineups? I mean, if there are did you check to see if they're zero gap? They're not zero gap, then you're just going to have to move that cutting blade up a little bit. That's, I mean, me personally, I there's only two trimmers I ever had that I have not touched. The 4-mass trimmer and the high vis trimmer. Everything else, I either and the sabers. The sabers came out kind of like low key hitting for real. But I adjusted them too. But other than that, um, you're just gonna have to adjust it. I know they're supposed to come like gapped already, but you might have to adjust it. They had a great opportunity there and they fumbled it. When the bring out the 4-hole brackets, game over. Yeah. The phenom height might be dead by then. They missed badly, in my opinion. Oh, okay. I'm curious about that. I want to see like a video on what you mean. And this already isn't with the young barber. So yeah, I hear what you're saying about this whole young barber stuff. Um, Barbers are still, how can I say this? As long as you're a new barber and you're still learning, you're gonna start figuring out what you really like, what you dislike. Being a young barber, you're not gonna you how can I say this? Being a young barber, you're not just gonna come out with uh it's not gonna like your skill is still not there on some real. And no matter what you pick up, you can you can have whatever whatever you think is the best clipper and trimmer they can have on their station, and it's still they're still young barbers. So once they start learning more and more about clippers and trimmers, about how the blade, like their pressure. Now, there's certain things, and this is why you need educators and not just influencer, not just people just talking about. You need people to educate how to use certain things. Now, there are definitely a lot of great educators out there that low key, some of us don't even know about, that can teach you how to cut with a Walmart clipper. So if somebody wanted to try the phenoms, but they get right, Kenny Duncan with Andis can teach you how to do fire cuts with any Andis tool. So when it comes to performance, I definitely feel like they match where everything else is at when it comes to performance. You're going to get dope bomb haircuts from a young barber to an experienced barber. They're not that type of tool that's like, oh, nah, these things are trash. They're not going to do nothing for me. That's definitely not what the phenoms are. They're definitely way better of a performing clipper and trimmer. But it all depends on who hands it's in. So I don't to me, I don't think they fumbled anything. I think they're just beginning. Uh they're not gonna give you everything at once. And I think I explained that a lot of times. Any brand doesn't give you everything at once. It's just at that part, it's just business. So iPhone don't give you everything at once, no more, ever. Like, yeah. When I was a young barber, I was picking everything up when I started picking wisely. Then I started picking wisely. Yeah. You start picking what you need. You know, you start finding out like, yo, you know what? I realized I cut better with a magnetic clipper. Or I realized I cut better with a brushless clipper. I realized I cut better with a rotary clipper. I realized I cut better with a pivot clipper or a vector. Like you start figuring things out on what type of person you are as a barber. When you start trying stuff, it's cool. Like I could say that, yo, the phenoms are great and they're a brushless clipper, but you might be great at like magnetic motors. So you pick them up and like, I don't really like them. They ain't really like that. Well, they really could be like that for all the people that like brushless motors. You might not just like brushless motors. I'm like that is when I say that is the thing. Like I've noticed there are certain people that only can rock with certain things. There are some people that only can go like they reverted back to corded. They just reverted back to corded because they can't do cordless. You know, so if the Phenom Clipper has the ability to use the back static blade out of the box, it would be a great marketing, the most flexible clipper out of the box. I understand that. I understand that. They could have done that. See, the interesting thing is that they still have options. They can do a lot of things still. Well said, concise. Appreciate it. Big. Keep in mind, this at this point is trying to get into the cordless game where they have been lacking. No, that's true. But how can I say this? That's true. They have been somewhat, they have been lacking. They have been lacking somewhat to me. We wanted something different from Andis. They gave us something different. Now people are saying they don't like the different. But they should have kept it the same. That's what they're saying. They don't like it different. They don't like the difference. They should have kept it the same. Why do we do that? They still have room. I mean, if we keep it honest, they still have room to whatever is new, let's add some old to it. And honestly, they added the OG double purple mags in the box. Now they did give us the knuckle zero guard, which I don't care for, but we got 4 guards. We never got guards, bro. We never got guards. Other than the Black Label Masters, the recent drop. But we never got guards. So it all depends on how you look at it. At the end of the day, for real, for real. You like the Kimmy? Yeah, I have the 1856. I have the Kimmy 1856. I love them. Now I do notice this about them. They're about to give out on me soon. They are. The lifespan of them, I can definitely tell that it's not like the other professional clippers that I have. Because they scared me the other day. But I do like them. Like for the time I had them, they've been rocking. But I can tell they're going to give out on me soon. You have to learn how to walk before you start running. And that was Andis. Yeah. Andis has great blades, just working on everything else. The Phenom blade was not needed. Oh man, fatal. What? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What are your top 3 blades from Andis? I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I love the Phenom blade. But what's your top 3 Andis blades? And I love the original taper. And then after this, we're going to get into the next topic, y'all. The Phenom trimmer blade is not even a top 3 trimmer blade in their brand line. Wait, are you talking about the clipper or the trimmer? I'm sorry. If you're talking about trimmer, then the OG, well, for me, is the Blackout, the GTX. Is the Blackout blade, because I had the shorter teeth. The GTX has deep tooth. And then OGs are not, you can't compare those blades. They're different to me. But that's just my take. I understand what you're saying when it comes to the trimmer blade. The trimmer blade, to me, you might be right. It might not be in the top 3. It could be like number 4 easily. But we're comparing against the OGs. The OGs is like they came out with swinging with a blade that, like, that blade has been the blade for probably 50 years. I don't know how long they've been. Probably for 50 years now, bro. It's going to be hard to beat something like that. Now, I think that it gives a good accent. I think this blade gives a good accent. If you already have those blades, great. But this blade is great too. So that's just me. Like, sometimes it's not always, to me, it's like, are you always trying to beat it? Or are you trying to add something to it that does something different? But that's just me. The Phenom coming out with the phase blade was a tease. When the 4-hole bracket comes out, the Phenom will probably be sold out. Probably so. Probably so. Okay. So look, I'm gonna get into the next topic, and I will say this topic right here, I'm just gonna say it one time only. Just gonna have this discussion and just leave it there because this is not something I just want to address it one time and that's it actually. So this is going to be the reason why I stopped working with TPOB. I wanted to give my take out there. I've been, told, and there was some I seen that there was some videos that he expressed about me and how, how we did business and stuff like that. But I wanted to give y'all my take, my story on what has happened, and this is exactly why I stopped doing business with him. When I say that I did it due to a business move, it was due to a business move. So I don't want to leave nothing out. I want to get straight to the point, and that's just that. I just want y'all to see my take. And this is where I'm coming from. So this was some information. Me and TPOB were going back and forth about something. Actually, no, this was a story that I posted. I don't want to share that brand, but he asked me a question about taking a picture of that brand's product. And as y'all see, this is the message. He has this message as well. But for me, when it comes to business, I don't share other companies' information. I don't do that. It's just a part of who I am, my ethics when it comes to business. And this, like, uh, this was just going to be, I say, the second thing. I think the second product that I was going to do for him, but we never got there because this comment came up first. So once he asked that information, to be honest, for me, it wasn't it wasn't the best business move. So I decided to make a decision once he asked me, can he see something underneath another company's product? I was like, okay, maybe this is not probably the best business move for me and my brand. So this is my take. This is why I did not do or continue to do business and won't continue to do business with him because this is the kind of move I don't I don't tolerate. And hopefully, things get better for him with business. But for me, for my brand, I decided to just not do business no more. So that's my take. That's my y'all see the information there. I don't want to get too deep. That's just is y'all have it. All right. So next thing is this. Barber expos. Are they worth it? I've seen a lot of people talking about barber expos and saying, are they worth it? And what does it really entail, right? What are y'all thoughts when it comes to barber expos? I'll tell you my opinion uh, once I see a few comments, but what are y'all thoughts when it comes to barber expos? Okay. Yeah, they definitely. It seems like Anderson is doing some moves, but barber expos, do y'all feel like they're worth it? Who has been? Who has never been? Who has never been to any barber expos? I'm curious. I've seen a lot of woodshed. What's going on? Barber expos, are they worth it? You said yes, they are worth it. Okay. Why do you feel like they're worth it? Never been. Okay. How long you been in the barbering industry? UGK? We'll see. But so far I see misses where they would have had the advantage off the rip. Oh, you're talking about Andis. Andis don't. I mean, to me personally, they don't need no advantage. Yeah. I'm closing on 1 year. Okay, that's dope. Honestly, bro, uh, I mean, you not been to one in a year, that's nothing wrong with that. I would definitely say, it's it's, uh, it's an interesting thing to do, to experience. Most are not worth it. What do you mean by that? When you say most are not exposure worth it, what do you mean? For networking if you want, but I went 22 successful years without going to a single expo. It's just community to me. Okay, I respect that. More eyes, more exposure, but it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay. I agree in a sense, because yeah, what you know kind of, well, I'll tell you my take in a second. I'm in Seattle. Okay. So barber expos, are they worth it? If classes are great though, got you. All right, so let me tell y'all my experience when it comes to expos. I see celebrity fans and selling products. Okay, that's what most, yeah, that's what that's what most expos are, I guess. But I'm gonna tell you my experience. I've been to the CT Barber Expo. I've been to IBS, and I went to Orlando Premiere. Is that all, babe? Is that the only three you went to? In Bronner Brothers. I'm sorry, in Bronner Brothers. Um, expos. If the expo is not worth it, it all depends who's talking, who's how you're experiencing the expo. Now, if you're experiencing the expo as just a barber, you just starting out, you going to the expo, you seeing all this stuff, to you, you might see it as a great time. It might be a great time. You're seeing all the people that you always wanted to meet in the barbering industry and all of that jazz. Like it could be just so much of an overload. Like you're like, yo, that was so dope. That was so dope. If you are a brand at a barber expo, you might have a different look at that. You might be a brand, and the the booth, let's say the booth, let's say average about like $1,000. You spend $1,000 just on the booth, getting all your product up there. Let's say it costs you an extra about another thousand. Uh, get into your room, all of that, food, whatever. So let's say you just spending out an easy $3,000. You got to at least spend well, let's say your expenses are $3,000 to $5,000. You have to double that. Oh, no, you double. You just got to make $5,000 to break even. So for brands, some of them, it's probably not worth it. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. If you are a educator or influencer, whatever, depending on every expo is not the same. I'll tell you that right now. There are a few that I went to that you either get selected and get paid for, you either get they have places of where you can, hey, you want to educate, it costs this amount. You know what I mean? Some of them you're selected and they pay for everything. So some expos are just a little bit different from one another. Now let me tell y'all my take on what I do, who I am. As my first year, we went to the barber, not my first year, it's probably my second or third year. We went to the CT Barber Expo. I think it was 2019. Loved it. Loved it. Had a great time. Um, Even my wife didn't even want to go. She didn't even want to go. But once we left, like leaving the door, she was like, "Oh yeah, babe, we got to level up. We got to get going." So it's an energy booster to like really getting back at home, getting your business together, right? The second year, the second year, it was cool. We kind of did somewhat of the same things, but like that hype of just the hype of it just kind of it went down a little bit. because we was getting up. We didn't get much sleep. When you go to expos, there's no such thing as sleep. That's what I honestly feel like. But we were so busy. We were so busy. Second year, the third year, this is when I really learned. I figured it out. The third year, I did not go to every class. We sat and picked out what kind of education that we need that's going to work for us right now where we're at. We wrote down all the people that we want to connect with, all the brands who we want to speak with. We didn't put our reservations in on all the restaurants that we wanted to go to. And that to me is start making after that, every expo that we went to, worth it. If you have no plan, then it's worthless to me. If you have a plan, like I will look up who all's going to be there and I will write down, all right, so here are some of the companies I might want to get in contact with, speak with, and all of that jazz, right? And I'm sorry y'all hear mad noise, but I'm trying to get to this place where I'm going to show y'all that I wrote this stuff down. But yeah, it's not let me see. I jumped my income from 30,000 a year to over 100K from knowing the right person. Right. That right. Knowing the right person is key. Knowing everybody isn't. You don't need to know everybody. You just need to know the right people. Connect with the right people. So he said, to be honest, it might be better networking your own community to help your business. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely, I think you should be doing that anyway. I think that if you are in your community, you have a business, I think it's smart to just connect with other businesses. I don't care what business you have. That's just not to say business 101. I'm not going to say that, but that's important. Once I started really writing my stuff down. All right, so I'm going to show y'all. I went to IBS and I'm going to talk about it. This is my IBS network. And here is me and all the people I want to speak with. Here's my wife, who the people that she wanted to speak with. So you got to have a plan. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it makes sense to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, for some people, it could be pointless. It could be pointless. It could be money not spent well at all. The last thing I'm thinking about, if I'm really being honest with y'all, at this point where I'm at, is products. And this is what I mean. I'm not really worried about getting more products, y'all. I'm just worried about connecting with the right people. I pray, I ask God, you allow me to go to this show. I pray that I connect with the right people, I impact the right people, and I serve the way that you want me to serve. And every time that me and my wife, we went somewhere, there has always been some type of relationship that has been formed by just following what God told us to do, serving the way that we're supposed to serve. I have connected with, honestly, we're going to talk about this. So I went to the IBS, right? If y'all never been to IBS New York, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't say this much. I say about CT. CT is an experience. You could definitely network there. It's a great experience. I like CT. I probably will always go to CT because me and my wife, we some OGs. We like the hotel. We don't gamble or nothing like that, but they got restaurants. We don't gotta go nowhere. It's just a great experience. We connect with people that we haven't seen in a long time. And then, we walk the floor, we see the expos, we get some education, we might connect with some people and all of that jazz. Like, to me, I have a whole different lens on it. But IBS, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I wish I would have went to IBS as much as I went to CT. And here's why. There's a whole different lane going on right now in just the hair industry alone. That if y'all think that we are just going to just be able to cut hair and that's it, y'all gonna get left behind. IBS has two different sides of it. It has the cosmetic side and then the hair and beauty side. The cosmetic side took over the hair and beauty side. They said last year that the hair and beauty was bigger than the cosmetic. This year, cosmetic's bigger. So that whole skincare stuff that's going on, y'all, it's getting crazy. Barbers, if all you do is just cut hair, I mean, at least master some shear work. I know some of y'all saying, extra services, it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. As long as you're the best barber within like 10, 15-mile radius, you probably be all right. But I seen some stuff on the cosmetic side that I can see that I can add into my shop ASAP that I have not seen. I ain't seen nobody do. I ain't seen nobody have it. I'm over here thinking like, oh, this would be great for my business. So sometimes going to these shows can help elevate how you serve, but it all depends on what lens you're looking at. Since I do own my shop, I am looking at it in a way of not just like, oh, I need some hair clippers. Like, no, I'm looking at chairs. I'm looking at I'm looking at steamers. Yo, they got a steamer, and I didn't record it, but they got a steamer. This steamer is like an all-in-one steamer. I'm getting that steamer. Like the price is up there, but that's fine. But I know I'll probably be the only person in my area with that steamer. It don't matter if they a stylist. It don't matter who they are. I know I have not seen that steamer nowhere near where I'm at. So you got to do sometimes you got to see some things that can separate you from others. But it all depends on what lens you're coming at when it comes to expos. Barber expos, just expos, period. Y'all, like to me, there's a lot of value, there's a lot of benefits from going. Now, if you're just going you know, just to go, because somebody says y'all need to go, uh I mean, be curious about it. See what's going on, see what classes they got going on. If there's nothing you feel like you need to learn, then I will say this, because I said this to somebody, they kind of like an OG. They have so much value, so much information. I feel like if they just went to the expo and had like an inner circle of just, if they just went to the expo and just served, it could change the game for them. So hopefully I see that person at the expo. They said they went to an expo and they turned around. I thought that was crazy, but I do feel like there is some value if there is a plan. Um, if you just have a plan, you know who you want to speak with, who you want to connect with, build relationships and stuff like that. Um, you just got to have a plan. What classes that you want to learn? There are some classes out there. Like there's a I think it's called hair sensory uh class. It's a group of people, but they teach you how to deal with those that are affected by autism. Yo, like that's a dope class to take. Like on some real. Now, do you need to go to the expo to take that class? No, it's just a part of the expo. There's other classes that you can do. The man units. Yeah, y'all talking about I do man weave. See? There you go. Man weaves. That was on the IBS side. It wasn't on the cosmetic side. But the products for like the best skincare, like they did it so smart. Like they had probably man weaves on the IBS side, but they had they probably had like the right cleansing product on the cosmetic side. Like there was so much like information. There was so much I seen that I'm like, okay, I see what we need to do. I see where this is going. I see what the industry where the industry is going, and I do not want to be left behind. I don't. Wait. I'm from New York. I catch a flight to Mississippi, California, even China to to get some hair. I do man weaves. That's dope. That's dope. Facials with straight razor, facials with straight razor shaves is the move. Yeah, yeah, but fatal. There's something you can add to that service. There's something you can add to that service. I don't want to say it, but there's something you can add to that. That was all over the cosmetic side, but you could definitely add it into the barbering area. Babe, you know what I'm talking about with the light? I'm just gonna say it. That the red light therapy. Y'all should see how they're coming out with stuff like that. That is fire. I do something similar. Okay. You mean hair hair units, hair systems. I mean, cranial. Oh, see, look. See, she over here teaching us, educating us. You what can you add in? You what
But
can
I
you
don't
add
know,
in?
I don't know about the red light therapy. Like, is there certain?
Extra charge for red light? I would.
No, but I mean, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, is there certain qualifications or certifications necessary
I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. That's stuff like that. We need to figure like if it's there and you see people using it, they got the mask one, but they got the one you can sit under. They have it all like different ways. Like it's crazy. Like you know how you had a port of what is like the hair dryer that's on rollers that can move. They had a red light therapy thing like that. I thought it was kind of crazy. The wash bowls that they have, yo, is crazy. So all I'm saying is that it depends on your mindset. It depends on what you're going for. It depends on the plan. Like barber expos and just regular all other expos can definitely be worth it. Definitely be worth it. Um, we take it as a mini vacation. Now we do. The first 2 years, like I said, we was drained. We was drained. For brands, for those that are like doing stuff at the expo, they get no sleep either. You know, I got mad respect for a lot of them that do that stuff because they're nonstop trying to. They're just nonstop, you know. And hopefully they break even and come back with something. And if they have more than 10 people with the brand and making sure that everybody, you know, gets paid or if they're paying for meals, whatever like that. That's like the whole other side of it that people really don't like. I would say think about, but it's something to consider that you got to break even. So if y'all want to get a booth, you know, get a product that you think that can make more than, you know, what your expenses are. And now I want to talk about my upcoming video. This will probably be out tomorrow. King of Clippers 2025. Um, Fatal, you're gonna want to watch this. It's like, nah. But uh I will have this for y'all tomorrow. Definitely check it out. Let me know what y'all take is. I have clippers in here that's ranging from $70 all the way to 300. So y'all take y'all pick on which one y'all like, which ones y'all don't like, you know, whatever y'all want to say in the comments, y'all just go ahead and do what you got to do. But yeah, this video is coming out. And if anybody needs any discount codes, this is you can screenshot this bad boy right here. And you can stay in the know with me this way. Yeah, you said, yeah, go watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. But yeah, I'm definitely charging for the red light. I'm definitely charging for the red light. Or yeah, I'm definitely charging for the red light. Now, I might introduce it to my clients a certain way, but at the end of the day, I'm charging for the red light. Any questions? Any questions? I did 3 topics within an hour. That was good, wasn't it? She just want me to be done. That's all. Phenom Clipper 2025. You'll see. Y'all see. Y'all see. But yeah, that'll be out tomorrow. It's a little bit lengthier video, but it's needed. It's needed. But any other questions? You said too early? Okay. I mean, it is March, so um I like see Stephen A should have never said that. The list is fluid. The list is fluid because you gotta have to make a list. You know what I mean? What the video about tomorrow. Oh, you didn't see? You didn't see? I thought you seen this. I'm sorry. Upcoming video. This is what it is. Imagine a detachable with any blade at your disposal. Yeah. You said imagine because it ain't real. Yo, Fatal, you, you crazy, bro. With any blade at your disposal. That'd be crazy. Make sure you watch that, Fatal. And could have been. Okay. Any questions? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and get up off of here. I appreciate y'all rocking with a brother. This is the new flow of Sunday Night Live. I'm just gonna call it Keep It Concise. And I think I did do that, man. Did it with an hour, 3 topics. I think we did a good job. And this needs concise consulting because they missing. Dang, bro. I think they doing all right, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I think they doing all right. I think they doing all right. But I will say, I still think about that. And it's so funny that um, me and my friends, sometimes we still have this conversation about, if I came out with a clipper, would it be with somebody or would I try to do it on my own? And I haven't gotten to that place where I know the real true answer of that yet. All I know, I'm going to continue to say, and I don't think that I'm special or anything. It's just the fact that this is just who I am. I gotta be there at ground one. If it's going to be with a brand, I have to be there at ground zero. I said ground one, ground zero. If it's not, then I just have to figure out how I can do it on my own and go from there. That Dark Star clipper, I'm gonna buy it because is your top 5 or number 1 clipper. I do like the Dark Star. If you like magnetic, it's a dope. It's not a bad clipper to rock with. But if you're talking about the on the screen, there's the Dark Star is not on there. It's not my top 5. You missing. Do it on your own, like TPOB did. I mean, it's definitely an avenue. It's definitely an avenue. Um, just keep my options open. If I ever get approached, like I said, ground zero, and not just ground zero, it got to be the right. It got to be the right partnership. Krypton, why you laugh? Why you laugh? I'm not gonna lie, Ennis took some losses, as Jordan said, and in order to win, you have to learn how to lose. Dang. Now they are just making the blades more complicated with the MB2 Masters. Wait, with the MB2 Master Phenomenon Clipper. My wife is a LMT and she does the red light therapy. Woodshed, if you did that, would you charge? If so, how much you think you would charge? I'm curious. If I'm doing haircut, beard, facial, using the steamer, enhancements, with the red light therapy, that's like $500 right there. It's like, no, I'm playing. I'm playing. Well, how much would you charge for a red light therapy session? Because how long does it even take? Like, I don't know that information. I'm just telling y'all for what I've seen. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of businesses getting involved in that, there's a lot more stuff. There's a lot like that was like 10% of the cosmetic side. All right. So if there's not any more questions, wait, hold on. Babus and Gamma Stylecraft did the same thing with their blades fatal. Yeah. So if there's not any more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and get up off of here. I do appreciate y'all rocking with your boy on the new podcast, Keep It Concise, that I'm doing on Sunday Night Live. I didn't like really push this. I just wanted to see how this was all gonna operate and move. A few more tweaks, but other than that, I do like it. So I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all go ahead and take it easy. Y'all have a blessed night. And yeah, y'all be blessed. Have a great week. And y'all will see this video tomorrow.